Here we go. All right. Last time on Scum and Villainy, the crew hid the survivors of the Sa Nalor and jumped to their rendezvous at Raxus Prime. Upon arrival, a pair of ships began to approach. That's where we pick up at. You have a pair of ships on the sensors, each of them approaching you.
All right, let's try and get them on comms.
Okay.
And can I perform a scan of the ships while I'm doing that?
Sure. Yeah, just give me a computer check or have Roxy do it for that matter. I mean, she's in the co-pilot seat, so.
Co-pilot, please.
Just be a basic computer check.
So,
Nothing there, average computer check. And while you're doing that. Unidentified vessel. Approaching Raxus Prime, please identify yourself and list manifesting cargo. Oh, nice. Roxy, it's a pair of, actually 2 pair of TIE aliens, Imperial TIE fighters. 4 in total. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I heard
Okay.
you.
yeah.
Just make sure. Well, I got quiet on me.
Just gonna go to 4 TIE fighters.
All right. This is the Captain of the Rabid Rancor speaking. We're just a couple of salvagers here to poke around, looking for a haul.
Affirmative Rancor, please broadcast your transit papers and request for permission for access to the planet.
Considering I'm not actually sure if we have those.
You don't.
That was not given to us by our rendezvous.
No, it was not.
What did they give us? Didn't they give us like some like transmitter that said we were from his company?
He did give you
Something like that.
He did give you a document to use, but the one you're thinking of is, I mean, Riom gave you some paper saying you worked for him, but that was more for her Saul's people, or if anything out there as far as salvaging to clean the wreck and all that. What you're thinking of is the document that was given to you by the Huts when you were transporting the crate dragon. So you don't have anything here.
Huh.
I don't think I can make us any false documents that quickly. Shall we just say we've mislaid the paperwork?
Might as well. I'll get back on the comms. We're here from Tanafu. You can get the paperwork from him. And I'm gonna cut comms.
By cut comms, you mean you turn off the comms, or?
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's no point in me even getting back on the voice synth. So just as you start hearing the crackle of it come in, you flip the switch to deny. Cutting the signal altogether. With that check that Roxy got on the stats, you notice the TIE fighters are picking up speed and approaching.
I flipped the emergency button to get everyone to weapons.
Okay, so there's that annoying womp 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 across the ship. Of course, pretty much everybody's at end stations as far as your crew is concerned. The only one that's not directly there is Shock, who I just has noticed who's immediately is walking out to the main cargo bay, looking around, going, "Oh crap!
What is going on here? Do I need to make my way to a gunner position?
That's your call. What you guys are doing?
This is one down at the bottom here.
There's one on each side, port and starboard side of the vessel, so you can go to the right or the left from your perspective, from a Shock standing. So you can go down or up. Doesn't matter. There's one.
Always go right. Oh, I can't get through all the doors, so hold on. Let me open them.
Okay. So unbeknownst to anybody on the ship, because Yitrim has just shut down the entire radio stack altogether. The TIE fighters are beginning to close on the ship. I'm going to
Or
switch.
Shock is going to assume if the emergency light is going off, he's going to assume we're getting ready to get into some combat.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, makes sense. And I'm going to switch us. Now we know where everybody's at. Well, I guess one thing that would happen when this starts happening is you would get a questioning call from the lounge from Captain Harsal wanting to know what's going on.
We're being intercepted by TIE fighters. Get your ass to the fucking weapons. Fucking freeloaders.
Okay, so I'm going to switch out Harsal. Of course, his two crewmen are not in there, but he jumps out, leaving the jizz playing in the background, and goes to the other one. He saw him and Shot kind of pass directions. He saw Shot going to the starboard when he headed port, so he's the one behind your all's not thing, and he's jumped into spot there. And let me just, so I have him over here. I've activated about you on the Roxas Prime sheet so you can see it. There's the TIE fighters. Let me get a couple of characters here just so I have him. I already have the TIE fighter. I forgot about the fact I'm going to need Harsal. There's Harsal. Okay. So, as we begin to go into combat, let me explain to you what's going on and give you a kind of a description of what's going on in the galaxy, the greater galaxy outside the ship. As you drop toward the surface of the ship, Yitrim, of the surface of the planet, Yitrim, you see unending wasteland of wreckage, junk piles, trash crates. The whole thing creates its own landscape. There's winding canyons and lakes of sickening-looking sludge. Building-sized recycling droids are walking around the piles with massive claws, and they're just picking up entire building-sized chunks of debris and dropping them into their processors, and their smelters are melting them down. There's a haze of hazardous gas across the whole planet, and the color shifts depending on what current chemicals are leaking out of whatever wreckage they're working on. Your proximity alarm, of course, has gone off. You drop down into the atmosphere of the ship trying to make your way into some kind of cover, because you know you can't outrun these TIE fighters in open space. You got to find cover someplace, somehow, to get yourself covered, or at least give you some kind of terrain blockage or something like that. So here's what I need from you guys. You need to all roll initiative.
Which is, we have two choices, right? Vigilance
or cool. In this case, it would
cool.
probably be cool, because you weren't exactly expecting to be attacked.
But vigilance is so much better. Okay. Cool.
And I will get our TIE fighters up.
Any setback or anything like that?
No, this is just a straight check.
Oh, wait. Hang on, I thought we were doing it in the thing.
Oh yeah, shouldn't it pop up in the encounter?
Yeah, well, it helps if I actually trigger the encounter, guys. That's the problem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot a step. Forgive me.
Well, I'm happy to roll again since I failed.
And I'll let you do that. There we go, guys. You can do it now.
All right. And you said cool, right?
Yeah. And I'm going to add in. Oh, crap. What did I just do? Oh, good. I thought I deleted them. I was like, what in the crap? Okay, I'm going to put the TIE fighters together on one roll.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Roll.
I just disappeared.
I think I caused that, guys. My fault.
I rolled it as cool from my character sheet, but I see you need to use the die that's under the...
It works better out of there, yeah.
Initiative tracker. Okay.
Yeah, it works better out of there.
That's cool.
Roll. Okay, let's get all those in there, and I put Harsal in there. Hopefully he's still listed as a friend. Let me check his token. Token. Oh, nope, he's not listed as a friend, but he will be. Friendly. Update token. I'm going to reroll. Hopefully it doesn't. combatant. Okay, hopefully when I do this, it converts Harsal. We'll see. Combat. Yep, it converted. Okay, so we got the combat tracker.
Who rolled the 3? Was that Harsal?
Yeah, he rolled a 3.
Oof. He's quite cool.
Yeah, he is. I guess he is a starship captain
True.
who served during the Clone Wars. Okay, so
And
go ahead, Marcus.
oh, I was going to say, and Bear Grylls practically.
Yeah, pretty much. So the way combat work, Yitrim is flying the ship, obviously. Shock and Harsal can fire the cannons if necessary. And thank you. There's various other activities that can be done on the ship. Like, for example, if the ship takes damage, you could work on damage control, repairing the ship, things like that. That's up to you guys what you do, and just ask.
So just to clarify really
Yeah,
quick,
that's fine. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, we're obviously in combat, quote unquote, but no one has actually fired on anybody yet. All they've done is sped up to close with us, right?
Well, yeah, correct.
Okay. Is it worth it for us to try to talk our way out of this at this point, or is it too late for that?
That's up to you
Like,
all.
sort of, hey, what's going on here? Why would you attack us just because we didn't have some paperwork?
Well, we could, but the comms seem to be damaged. They might have sustained something when we came into atmosphere. They don't seem to be working too well.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yes, sir. Pilot. I'll follow your lead.
Yeah, let's see. That damage was each Sherman going click. Okay, so I do have to ask a question. This is just to establish things for what's going on. Yitrim, what's the current speed of the Rancor? I mean, because you drop from orbit down into, so you had time to speed up. What is your speed? 1 through 3.
Since 3 is max speed,
Mhm.
Honestly, probably at 1.
Okay.
Because there's all this junk, and I would assume we're flying pretty low.
Okay.
So probably current speed of 1.
If you click on the Rancor's token there, and I've already set it, but you'll see the top number. I'm setting that as speed for the ships. Can you see that number?
No.
I see 1. Yeah, if you right click on it, you can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, right click on it. Yeah, now I can.
Okay. I'm going to do the same thing for the ties. They are closing, but since you're not going full speed, I'm going to set them at 3, which is faster because they're trying to gain on you. Because you were able to get into atmosphere before they were. So they're still playing catch up. And it's a friendly's turn. And you know how combat works in Star Wars. You get to choose who goes in your group, who goes first. I'm going to move my characters down so I can get to them. I'm moving you guys
so
too
with
back.
piloting, when piloting is involved, I assume you can do things like take evasive maneuvers that would make it harder for them to hit you and stuff like that. Or...
Yeah. But here's the thing: the only person that can do the piloting is your pilot, which in this case is Yitrim.
Yeah.
Now you guys can do supporting things. You can go in there, like for example, I got a screen up here on the thing that the viewers are seeing. But you could go in there and you could work on aiming your guns or firing your guns. In your case, Shock, because you're in the turret. Roxy's on the flight deck, so Roxy could be the one working on maybe trying to jam their signals, or maybe doing some damage control on the ship, things like that.
I think it makes sense. Doesn't it make sense for the pilot to go first, so that the rest of us kind of take his lead? Like if he evades or does something that would affect our shots, we would know. I don't know. I was planning on
going last, in all honesty.
Yeah, I figured I would be last or near last, and just responding to how the situation is changing.
Okay, so it sounds like I'll go first then. And since these guys haven't actually shot at us yet, I'm just going to start speeding up.
Okay.
And just in case, I'm going to angle the deflector shields. So I'm going to drop a point of defense off the front and put it in the rear.
Okay. Makes sense. I just popped out the combat tracker so I can see it and see chat too, so I see what other things you're doing as well. Okay, that I have to begin combat. That takes care of you. So you're speeding up the ship, is what you said?
Yep, speeding up. I'm going to try and get away from them. Maybe we can use the terrain. Maybe we can, take out their sensors. Because they haven't shot at us yet.
They have not. They have not. You can speed up by 1, unless you got a feat or something you want to use, but you can speed up by 1, which would move your speed, and I'll adjust the token to 2.
So yeah, we'll save the feats until
Until
things
needed.
get a little more dicey, because we only have so much system strain.
Okay. Okay. So you speed the you guys feel the rancor as Eacham drops into the atmosphere. You hear then you guys have multiple landings with trips as Eacham now in that atmosphere. You feel normally when he drops in, he eases the ship in nice and easy. As he drops in the atmosphere, Shock, you're in the turret. You can actually hear the wind whistling past the turret as you're getting the turret limbered up and ready to go. You know that Eacham is pushing it going into the atmosphere. He's speeding up. You feel the kick of the engines as the ship pushes forward, dropping itself down the atmosphere. I'm going to try on here. It might not work very well to try to give a visual representation of the difference in your speeds. So I'll put the Rancor a little bit farther ahead. And then you're also doing what, Eacham?
I'm shifting or angling the deflector shields.
Okay.
So I'm just moving one of our points of defense from the front to the rear.
To the rear. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that the defense, to my understanding, is just setback die on attacks.
Yep. That's
So we should have 3 in the rear and then 1 on all the other sides.
On the other sides, right. Actually, on this ship, you only have 4 and aft, so...
I have a feat that adds 1 to everything.
Ah, you do. Well, then... Okay, well, that'd be a feat, though. Okay, and actually...
Is that the same thing as a talent? Sorry, it's the D&D
Yeah,
nomenclature
sorry.
versus... Yeah, it's okay. I just wanted to make sure I understood.
Yep. So, what Eacham has done is the Rancor has 2 points of defense. He has moved the point from the front and moved it to the rear, bolstering that rear defense. Now, he has a feat that can give him additional, but he has to call on that feat to make it happen. So right now, basically, he's made the equivalent of in Star Wars, you heard them say, set the deflectors to double front or double rear. That's what he just did. He just flips it. I'm covering the back of the ship more than the front because we don't need it right now because the ties are on our butt. Okay. The TIE fighters, what is their maneuver rating? Their handling is 3. The TIE fighters also ease up in speed. I got them both together. Why are those at half? Not sure. So there's still about 2 points. They're still closing on you, but they're not to you yet. Okay, and that brings it around to a friendly target. Do you want that to be Shock, Harsal, or Roxy? And actually, for simplicity here, I'm going to let you guys tell me what Harsal's doing. And he would be defending the ship however you guys tell him to, so.
I guess my inclination would be to hold. Can we hold actions in this? How does that work exactly? Like, could we wait until they fire on us before we fire back?
You could. If you want to hold an action, I don't know if it's really permissible in the rules, but I'm going to permit it. Makes sense to me.
I think that's what Shock would do. He would wait. He's like, he doesn't know exactly what's going on. He only knows we're being chased, but he hasn't seen anybody fire on us yet. So he's going to, ready his action, take aim. He would probably use a maneuver to aim at the TIE fighters as best he can and then wait to see what happens.
See if they fire on him. Okay, makes sense. I'll permit that. And Harsal's going to do the same thing. In many cases, he's probably going to echo what you're doing. Shock.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we're probably talking to each other.
Yeah,
through
you guys are on the headset talking back and forth, talking to each other on the bridge too. Probably.
I put my headset on my translator droid and I'm barking out commands to the to the droid.
Okay, so that takes care of.
But
We'll
I'm
say-
just saying when it's my turn, that's what I'll do. But if Roxy would like to go first, I'm fine with that too. Whatever.
Doesn't really matter since we've got 3 in a row.
Yeah.
True. Good point. Good point.
Yep.
What I'm gonna do is probably I haven't really got any proper jamming equipment because that actually costs money.
Actually costs money, he says.
Well, I mean, my slicing gear can do a lot of things, but I'm not a god.
Sure you are.
I mean, so I'm probably going to see if I can use the scanners to see if we can find somewhere to lose these guys, like
All
some
right.
thick patch of radiation or gas.
Yeah, something in the terrain or something you can hide in. Okay, so
Yeah.
give me a quick computer check, Roxy.
Computers. Oh, I thought that would be like piloting planetary. Or
Nope, that'd be a computer check because all you're doing is operating the sensors of the ship. This is right in your bailiwick, and it'd be an average
Two
check.
difficulty?
Yep, average difficulty. I mean, not hard to operate the sensors of the ship. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Okay, so as the ship is diving down the atmosphere, the guns are limbering up on the sides, chatter's going back and forth. Roxy, you start running the scan across the system and you start seeing something, and right to the port, just slightly out of line of where you're headed, you see the opening of a canyon in the garbage and debris. The canyon, you can see it on the scanner. It goes for quite some way. There's some dead ends and it goes, it branches off. It's like a typical canyon, but it's made out of all this trash and garbage and all this stuff. And you see this entryway to the canyon and you point at it to Yitram. That way. Go that way, you're suggesting.
Reckon we could lose them there. And by the way, I take 1 strain, don't I, or something?
Yes, you're gonna pick up 1 strain. Yeah, you'll pick up 1 strain because you're stressed over the situation. But you got 6 successes on that, so let's see.
It's just a really good canyon.
Yeah, it's a really nice canyon, nice wide entry, but it narrows down. You think that Yitram should be able to fly this no problem. But it might be more difficult with those fast moving ties behind him. Okay. And that we get all the limbering up done on the guns through all that. And we bring it around to the next round of combat, and that brings it to our pilot Yitram, because you guys said you wanted to go him first. So what's Yitram doing here?
I guess Yitram's gonna bank his way into this canyon.
Okay. Give me a space piloting check as you dive into this canyon. I'm looking to see what the challenge rating is. Oh, it's just an average. Just an average.
Wouldn't it
Can
be
do.
planetary?
No, it's not. Planetary is involved with a planetary vehicle. This is a space vehicle.
Ew.
Yeah, that's the difference there. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that.
Triumph. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So you dive into this canyon. The ranker just goes dipping in there. From your point of view, Shock, and from Harsaw's point of view, because your gunner turns on the side of the ship, all of a sudden the walls just race up beside you and they're going zipping by. As you go zipping by, you see trips and things, all kinds of stuff in there. Yitram is moving the ship back and forth, almost like his skill. You can appreciate his skill at controlling the ranker as he dives into this. In the background behind you, the pair of fighters that were working together, one group of them seems to have some kind of difficulty and doesn't drop into the canyon. The other group drops in and slots in right behind you. So I'm going to do this just so we know what's going on. You got one set of ties that are still behind you, Yitram. The other set is flying high over the canyon. It's like they didn't feel comfortable moving into that canyon. I have to do their checks to see how well they came in that canyon. Actually, they're next, so let me do that real quick. I gotta do the same thing. A 2 purple piloting check. Piloting space. Where is it at? I know they have it. Now, come on now. Imperial TIE Fighter's got to have piloting space. You're kidding me. Okay, there we go. That's better. I was a little concerned there for a minute. Okay, I'll roll 2 separate rolls for each one of the groups. 2 purple difficulty. Their efficiency. You're going to hate this. There's that group. And that's the group that followed. Oh, okay. So, here's what we're going to do. Both groups dove into the canyon behind the Rancor. One of them peeled off because Powell didn't feel comfortable making the run. The other one, he tried to peel off. He clipped the wall of the canyon and went spiraling across the canyon and exploded against the canyon wall. You have 3 ties on you now.
Oh, our first fatality.
They haven't even fired on you yet.
Well, I guess now we're firing because we already our actions have resulted in the death of one of them. So
now, the pair of ties behind you, that's actually chasing you, they begin firing at the ship. Now's where we get to have some fun. Let me get gunnery skill up. Okay. Now, gunnery is based off of silhouette size. If you look on the little sheet that I have on the screen, you can see the silhouette comparison size. So you have an idea. I may say this out loud so we all make sure we're on the same thing. The silhouette for the TIE Fighter is 3. The silhouette for the Rancor is 4. So there's only a difference of 1 in the silhouettes. So that's going to put them at, they're smaller than you, so 1 larger, target same or 1 larger, so it's going to be 2 purple for them to try to hit you. And that's 2 purple difficulty on their proficiency, and let's give a roll. Let's see what happens. Typical TIE pilots. A spray of bolts go hammering against the side of the metal cliffs that you're flying through, Yitra, that the Rancor's flying through, and you see as it hits cascades of debris, and some of the debris begins to destabilize, and that's when you realize this canyon might be beautiful, but it may not be stable. Okay, and they had failure. They didn't get any threats, so we're good to go there. Okay, that takes care of them. The other group is halved, and they're up high. That brings it to the crew inside the ship. Because we know what Yitrim's doing. He's flying the ship.
Yeah, I mean, Shock and I presume our ally would both take a shot.
Okay.
So what's
I'm just adding another token there so we know physically how many ships we have out there.
Yeah, I'll shoot the one at the top of the range band, I guess.
Okay, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Okay, so
actually, it would make more sense to me to shoot the one at the bottom because I'd be on the right hand side.
Yeah,
down here.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter, but okay. Okay.
It matters to me. Okay.
Matters to you.
What's my setback?
Okay, so the TIE is actually smaller than you. It is 1 smaller than your ship, which actually only puts it at, believe it or not, just at 2, just like them, because the ship's not that much bigger. So you're going to have 2, and you don't currently have any setback to deal with.
Okay.
Well, actually, hold on. Yeah, you do. You're still moving at 3, right? Or 2, right, Yitrim?
Yes, we're at 2.
Okay, and the fighters are at 3, so 1 setback because of the speed.
Okay.
You're trying to shoot a little zippy little ship. Oh, look at that. So, now I need to pull something up on the screen here. The viewers are going to hate me for all the stuff I have on the screen at any given time. Actually, I'm going to pop that Rancor out so I can quit looking at it. Your ship cannons do a 5. damage and a crit on 3. You only had 2 success. Oh, look at all the threats you picked up, though. Wow. Okay, so you're doing 5 damage to the TIE fighter. Oh, I see the problem there. Let me fix that on that TIE. Apparently I had played with these ties. Okay.
Jason, just for us, what's the difference between defense and armor for the ships?
Armor works just like it would be your armor. It would work as a soak.
Okay, so what does defense do?
Good question. Defense says it gets setbacks on the attacks.
Okay.
Thank you. I had to stop and think about that for a second. So, shock slams into that ship for 5. Because that's what the cannons do. Make sure you have damage is 5. Oh my god, this poor little TIE fighter. His hull threat, his trauma is 5. You clip him, he is not. Did I get the right one? Yeah. Well, no, I didn't, but I'll fix it. There we go. Swap him around the screen because I grabbed the wrong one. So you do 5 to him, and you pick up 5 threat on your side.
That's a lot of threat.
It's a lot of threat. Let me see what I can do here with that. So maybe I can not kill you, but spending threat. Starships vehicles. Perform an immediate free maneuver. Add setback to the target's piloting check. Reduce threat and defense by half. Ooh. Okay, here's how I'm going to resolve that. He gets to take a pot shot at you. He probably won't do any well, that's because he's a thing, but he's going to get a pot shot at you. Let me get his skill up here. He has a 2. Now his pot shot's not going to be, he's going to have some setback on that because, actually got a lot of setback on that.
Yeah, it should be 3 from our defense.
Yep. And roll that. Oh, crap. Wow. Even though the defense, he still managed to hit the Rancor. So as you plug him and hit him, there's no trauma on the ship. Currently, there will be in a second. He manages to tag the Rancor as he's starting to lose control of his he's trying to regain control of his ship. I need that fighter, not the pilot. What's the damage on those boogers? Damage is 6 with a critical of 3. He only got 1 success though, so you take 6 hull trauma. You don't. Well, you got shields up, right? Oh, that was a setback. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the ship takes 6 hull trauma, banging the ship for 6. Not enough to do critical damage yet, thankfully.
Is that with soak?
Oh,
that
you
hurts.
You don't have any armor. Oh yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. I'm sorry. I see it. I missed it. Fix it. 3 hull trauma. By the way, for those of you, you should be able to see the sheet, but you got 19 total hull. 19 is your threshold. So you just took 3. Each room, there's now nice, nasty furrows down your ship. Why did the Rancor just pop under the thing? Okay, so that was shock. I need Harsal because he also is going to try to shoot at this guy. Piloting space, please tell me he has gunnery. He's not as good at shock is, but he does have a gunnery skill. If it'll let me bring, oh, there it is. Okay, and still 2 difficulty. Okay. He succeeds. He's shooting at the other fighter on the other side. He tags it for 5. Not enough to get. He does have advantage, though. He'll pass that advantage on to the next one of your all's activities. I think that's fair for him. So that brings it down to Roxy. What are you trying to do, Rox?
Is there any way to make a smoke screen to, like, by dumping fuel or something?
Do we have any?
Or making the fuel burn slightly less efficiently? Like,
Okay. Okay. So, Joseph. You're on the flight deck and you have access to engineering controls. You could, in essence, adjust the mixture on the drive to cause more smoke to pour out one of the engines, perhaps. That'd be a computer check or a mechanics check, depending on which you're more comfortable with. Probably computers in your case.
yes, it would be.
And that will temporarily, while you're doing this, will temporarily reduce the max speed of the ship to 2, because you're adjusting, you're screwing with the flow of the fuel going to the engines. But it will also it will cause smoke to build out of the back of the vessel, giving you some obscuring the view from the pilots behind you.
And also, it'll be make them not hopefully see where they're going and crash.
Hopefully.
That's what I'm hoping. Computers. 2 difficulty or more? I mean, I'm messing with hyperspace engines.
Yeah, well, I'll have to. You're in subspace engines here, but probably a 4. Not impossible, but you're doing it on the fly. If he's on the ground, it'd be easier. But because you're trying not to shut down engines completely, it's a 4. But you can pick up a bonus die from that advantage that Harsal left you if you want. And remember, you have light side points as well.
So that's a boost.
Yeah, 1 boost.
Do you think it's worth it using the light side point here, guys? I'm not sure it's worth it.
We're currently even with light and dark points, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What just technologically would what Roxy is trying to do, would that interfere with their targeting?
You're targeting
No, well, our targeting of them or their targeting of us, I guess either one.
both, really,
Okay.
because it also obscure them.
I didn't know if their targeting system relies on visual.
It's a TIE fighter. It's pretty much a tin can with guns tied to it.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, it has a targeting scope that will help them, but they'll get a definite setback from it.
Okay. I'm not sure it's worth burning a light point for that, because it kind of just lowers everybody's chances of hitting each other, I would say, if it works.
The thing I was going to say at the end of my turn, which I'll probably say now, is try and collapse the canyon on them.
Okay, I like it.
Because
you're not flying it.
Each says you're not the one flying in the canyon.
I mean, we're shooting the canyon behind us. I'm sure I'll be fine. I guess
the only issue would be timing it in such a way that it would actually impact them. If they're too close to us, they would be through it before anything really fell. But yeah, we can try.
That's true. Maybe this isn't as worth it as I thought. I might just look for some better sort of like places in the canyon that we can hopefully lose these guys. Maybe then.
Okay, give me if you're gonna do that, just give me a average computer check to read the sensors, to try to read ahead in the sensors.
Average computers, and that will essentially hopefully boost Utrim's whatever he's going to do.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! 3 successes. You succeed. You did generate a little bit of threat, so it's going to put a little bit of strain on you.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to burn through these and get you back to the top. Okay, before we do anything, as Each comes barreling around the corner, TIE fighters explode. One TIE fighter, both TIE fighters getting dinged by the ship as you go flying by. The canyon suddenly narrows And by narrow, Yitrim, I mean you're way too wide. I need you to make a piloting check to see how well you can navigate this. Standard thing here, it was like before, it's an average piloting check. However, in this case, you got 2 setback.
Wouldn't I help him because I'm doing the
Yes.
helping with
Yes.
piloting through the canyon?
Yep. 2 setback and 1 bonus from what Rox just did for you.
Well, that's fine because my talent removes 2 setbacks, so I'll just make the roll with a boost.
Okay. Look at that. Look at that. From your all's perspective, particularly Harsal, Eachram, did you roll port or roll starboard?
Port.
Okay. Okay. So from your perspective, Shock, you're in the cockpit and all of a sudden you're suddenly looking straight at the ground
Oh boy.
as Eachram rolls the ship onto its side. And as you look up, or what would have been, the canyon wall that was ahead of you, as you look up, you can literally see the Rancor is just barely fitting through this canyon. It is narrowed so close that as it narrowed in, you could almost, if you could reach out and touch the wall, you could reach out with a stick and hit the wall on your side.
Mm.
Now, I got to do the same thing for these yucks. So give me a second. Let me get the pilots up here. They got to make a space piloting check because the canyon just narrowed on them. Okay, and they don't have any skills unlike Eachram. So they get 2 setback on 2 difficulty. Here's the first one. I'm going to roll them all and then I'll come back to them and see how they did. Now the other one's on high, so he's above. He's not worried about the canyon. Oh crap! Look at that! Look
Maybe
at
you
that!
should have been worried.
No, that's not that's the there's 2. Remember, there's 2 on your tail and 1 flying high cover. And so the first one, he flips it. He doesn't. I mean, his ship's a lot smaller than yours. He doesn't panic. He just slots right in behind you and follows you through, just darting right after you. And actually, he pours on the speed when he does that to try to gain on you. And he gains a little bit. His speed actually, well, he's already running at 5, so he speeds up on you guys. The other one, however, not so good. He clips the canyon wall. And remember I said that shock hit him? Well, TIE fighters only have a hull threshold of 6. He just clipped the canyon wall. And as he clips that canyon wall, his TIE fighter explodes. Empire really should invest in better ships. And I'll do this just so you know what's going on with him. Where's my dead?
Well, I mean, if you're going at speed 5, that was going to happen regardless.
Yeah, regardless. So he slams them all, but here's the other downside. Yitrim, I need you to make another piloting check at 2 setback. And I gotta make his,
All right.
because when he hit the wall, it destabilized the canyon wall and it's collapsing behind you or around you.
Does he still get the boost from me helping him?
No, not from this. This is a whole different. Yeah, this is a whole different thing because this is because that TIE fighter slammed into the wall. And I also got to do the same thing for the
Piloting
pilot.
space.
Yeah, piloting space. 2
Alright.
average, but with 2 setback.
My talent laughs at your setback.
Yeah, I know it does. Let's see. Let's see how the other TIE fighter does. Yitrim fails. Okay. Oh wow. Okay. So the Rancor gets rained on, and from your, this is not pleasant from Harsal's point of view because he's on the top of the ship as this crap starts hitting the ship and starts bouncing off the ship, and you actually take 9 strain on the hull strain. Get the ship up here. 12 hull strain, and where does that put you at? Oh, and 3 system strain. That's what I was looking for. And 3 system strain. The Rancor, the Rancor rings like a gong on the inside, guys, as this debris rings down on the ship. And Eacham does a masterful job of flying through it as best he can, but you can hear and feel the ship taking a beating. And there are a number of alarms that go off that tell you that you have extensive hull damage. Game-wise, you're currently sitting at a hull trauma of 12 with a threshold of 19. The ship is not in good shape. The TIE fighter, however, he takes a system strain. Takes 2 system strain, but he pulls through it perfectly fine and is still on your tail. That pilot then does his best to shoot the Rancor down by attacking you with his lasers. Let me get your gunnery up. Okay, let's see. Difficulty is 2, but he's going to get a setback because of all the debris and because he's juking and dodging. Actually, he's going to get 2 setback for that. And roll. Holy crap.
I'm going to ask this just because we're super close to death. What about the setback for our defense?
Oh, good point. Let me reroll that. Thank you. Yep.
I kind of like this ship.
You kind of like this ship? Okay, let me re-roll that. Actually, what I'll do, and I'll just re-roll it. This is gunnery, so he had 2 setback and then 2 from yours defense, which I forgot to add in. 2 average, we re-roll that, because that's fair. Holy crap. Oh, good, he failed. So his bolts go scattering past you. Actually, he picks up 2 threat for himself. So I'll add that in there, plus 2. So I have that, hull strain set at 5. Okay, good to go. And that brings it around to the crew. Now, before the crew goes or acts, I want to remind you guys, you are not stuck in your seats. You can move around inside the ship. You can do damage control. So you can attempt to repair some of this hull strain trauma.
I'm gonna do damage control.
Okay. Actually, I'm rolling up here on the screen so I can see what you got to, what the rolls for that damage control. Actions that attempt to mitigate some of the stress caused from the vehicle system accidents. Using this action, the player character who makes successful mechanics check recovers. And of course it. Oh! Add hold of the token. So that's what I need to be.
So is it?
The mouse string currently. Okay, that's what I need to do.
So I think Shock's probably got the highest mechanic skill. So he could take the next move and jump off his gun and try to run and do damage repair.
Okay. Yeah, you can reduce system strain. You can't do anything about hull trauma, but you can reduce that system strain, which is starting to creep up on you.
Okay. And he can what's his name? Harsal? Harsal, sorry. Not even
That's
close.
okay. That's okay.
Is Harsal in a position to still attack the remaining ships?
Yeah, he's still in the turret.
And he's got actual line of sight or some way to shoot at them. Okay. So I'm gonna bark at him to keep firing and hop out of my gun and do whatever I can do to lower the strain on the ship.
As you come out of across the decks in the ship, and of course the ship has artificial gravity, so Eachern's maneuvers are pushing it to limit, so you're bracing yourself as you come across it as best you can. As you enter into the area to start doing some work on the engine and see what's going on, you realize you have 2 people already in there. The 2 people that Harsal brought in are already there, and they've already started damage control efforts as best they could. So I'm going to give you 2 bonus on your mechanics check. Okay. It's a 3 difficulty roll because you have currently on a 3 system strain.
Okay.
And you got a bonus of 2 on it. And for every success, you will recover a point of strain.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, you didn't recover any strain, but you did pick up 2 points of advantage that you can lend to anybody. Since Harsal is still in the guns, I'd just maybe lend it to him. Maybe he can get this tie off your ass.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay, is that good with the rest of the crew?
Fine with me.
Anybody has some, well, can I split the advantage? I can only put all of it on one person.
Yeah. No, you can. I'll let you split it.
Does it help to give Eatrum a point in case he needs it for piloting?
It could possibly help Eatrum. Eatrums are pretty hot on the stick, but I will tell you that Harsal's gunnery is not that great.
Okay, all right. I'll give both of them to Harsal then.
Okay. I'm going to add 2 boosts to Harsal. It's 2 difficulty. He's firing at that last remaining tie. Come on. Yep, he missed. Okay. We picked up 4 advantage. So he's passing 4 advantage on to whoever else in the crew. Roxy, are you trying to do damage control as well? You can do some of that from the bridge, obviously, or from the flight deck.
I'm just wondering, is it... Oh. I was just wondering, is it possible to remote access the guns?
Not currently the way they're set up, no. That could be added to the ship, but it doesn't currently have any feature like that.
I was just wondering, because I remember the Millennium Falcon when it had the gun that popped down and could do
Right.
that.
Yep. Unfortunately, this ship only has 2 light laser cannons currently, one on each side, and they're not rigged with any kind of firing solution or system.
Then I will, I'll do the mechanics check.
Okay, you still have 3 strain on the ship, but Harsal's passing you 4 bonuses.
So how many boosts is that?
4.
Just 4 boosts.
Yeah, mechanics check with 3 purple and 4 boost.
Crumbs.
Look at that.
So many dice.
So many dice. But you do recover 2 system strain, bringing you back to just 1 on the ship. The ship is flying better now. It is still belching smoke from your reset of the controls. And that'll bring it around to Yitram. Yitram, as you come through that narrow tunnel and you flip the ship to level out, the space opens up. A couple of things register on your photo sensors really quickly. One, there seems to be something in the space. And as you begin to flash by it, you realize that those are repulsor skiffs crewed by Jawas, who are currently in the middle of trying to recover something in this area. So I need you to make a space piloting check with 1 setback as you try to dodge those Jawas and not smack the walls of the thing, plus whatever else you want to do.
You got it. I'll do that first check now.
Yeah, no problem. You flip around and move in through there, ducking, dodging, and weaving. And just to make it easier on myself, where did the Imperial pilot go? Okay. Let me go ahead and do the one that's following you, do his computer check and see if he's successful, or flight check, to see if he's successful dodging those Jawas as you were. 1 setback on that. Oh no. Poor Jawas. Good, lucky you, poor Jawas. He slams into one of the skiffs. His TIE fighter detonates. He only had 1 hull left, guys. His TIE fighter detonates. You now only have the one on high cover that is still above you. He can't see you well. He's looking for an opening. This might be a big enough area for him to get in. He's going to try it anyway. Why I did that? The one above tries to get down on your tail. However, he has a setback from the Jawas and an additional setback because, remember, this is the guy that wasn't confident in his flight skills to begin with. As he dives in toward you, he succeeds. You now have another TIE fighter on your tail, and this one is fresh. I'll move these guys back out of the way.
Okay. So I'm going to... Yes.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna use my action to use my brilliant evasion talent. So I need to do an opposed piloting check.
Okay, let me pull up the pilots
I'll just
here.
toss what I'm doing in here.
Yeah. His piloting skill is on your roll. It'll be 2 red and 1 purple.
Okay, 2 red and 1 purple.
Okay, and you were trying to do brilliant evasion, the pilot, post pilot. If he succeeds, the opponent's vehicle starter cannot make an attack. Okay. If you fail, okay. So you didn't manage to succeed to evade him, unfortunately. So he's still hot on your tail.
But we're gonna try that again with natural pilot that lets me reroll.
Okay. Okay.
So I'll just redo that check.
Yep. You do that check. All right. Burning those skills up.
Well, this is supposed to be the only thing I'm good at, and I'm
Well, you're
kind of not doing too hot.
actually you're doing pretty good. You got rid of 3 ties. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Oh, look at that!
That's a little better.
So you shoot through that space, and you see on the sensors, you see that tie dropping down from the high cover onto you, and you see off to the left, ahead of you, the canyon splits, and at the last possible second, when he's going to line up his shot, you juke into one of the side. You pick one at that last second, causing anything that he can't shoot because you've juked too quick on him. Okay, that brings
We
around
got 4 rounds before he can shoot at us again, guys. Take care of it.
Yep. He is still following you because he did make his piloting check. He just can't make that shot, so there's nothing for me to do on him because he's still trying to close on you. So that brings it around to the crew inside. Where's the crew inside? Well, actually, Harsal, I know what Harsal's doing, so let me roll him real quick. He will shoot at that TIE fighter. We know what he's doing. Okay, and it's 2. He currently has... Actually, he's going to grab those 2 bonuses from your successes, Eitrim, to his shot, and roll. And miss. However, he will pass on a bonus to the next person on one side. So that would leave Shock and Roxy.
I mean, I could roll again to try to reduce strain on the ship.
The ship's strain is currently setting at 1. So yes, you could do that.
Oh, wait, setting at what?
1.
Which
1.
is...
It's the hull that's
Yeah.
damaged.
Yeah, it's the hull. The hull. You can't do much about the hull.
Okay, so should I hop back on my gun and take a shot at the guy? Or can I do that?
It would take your entire maneuver to get back into the gun and fire.
Okay, but there's really nothing for me to do right this second, right? I mean, there's only 1 strain. That's not
Yeah,
really
it's not critical
a
now.
crisis. Yeah, I'm going to use my maneuver then, and I guess my action to get back into the gun.
Okay, so you get back to the gunner seat and get ready for the next one. Okay, cool. Roxy.
I'm just gonna help do a computer check to help with navigation.
Okay. Give me just a 2 on that, and whatever advantages you pull off that, we'll pass on to Eitrim as bonuses.
See if I can hopefully find him somewhere to hide.
Oh, look at that! You succeed. Let's see what do we find. Let's see. On the scanners ahead, you see what at first what would look like a dead end, but you can tell by the scanner readings, Roxy, that it's a 90-degree turn in there. So if with Yitrim now knowing about it, you point at you tell him they are a 90-degree turn, however you want to say that, so that he knows where, and he has the option to go in there and make that 90-degree turn.
Yeah, so I'm like a navigator in the rallycross.
Pretty much, yeah.
Make a right.
Yep.
90 sharp.
Okay. So Yitrim, it comes back around to you. Of course, we need to do your piloting check. the turn itself would be one setback, but you're picking up one advantage from Yeatram or from Roxy letting you know.
Okay.
And while you're
Here.
doing that, I will roll the Imperials. Oh, look at that. You flip around through the... Oh, wow. You pick up a Triumph. How do I want to spend that? I mean, how do we want to spend that? With one Triumph... X. I tell you what, with that Triumph, I'll let you perform a free pallet maneuver if you want, or you can pass on 2 advantage to the next team member.
So yeah, I think there's not many maneuvers I can do right now, so I'll just add those to the next shots.
Okay. Okay. So the pass those on to the next guy, which will probably be shocked, to be honest. Okay. I take care of you real quick. Let me go down to the top pilot. Let's see how well he handles or she handles this maneuver. Oh, look at that. Even with the setback they had, the tie comes screaming around through there, right on your tail. You can hear its twin island just howling behind you. Shock, you're back in the turret. What are you up to?
I'm going to take a shot, and it's you said I get 2 boosts from the Triumph?
Yep,
Okay.
2 boosts from that Triumph.
Still 2 difficulty, or is that
Still
changed?
to difficulty, speed, nothing's changed.
Alright, here we go.
Ooh, look at that. You pick up 3 successes. That's actually adding damage to it. I have not been doing that. So those guns on the ship do 5. That's not going to be good for this TIE fighter. Because guess what? He explodes.
Nice.
He explodes.
Well done, Eatram, for positioning me for the perfect shot.
Yeah. So thematically, here's what goes on. Yishram banks around that turn, doing a hard turn. As he does, he kicks the side of the ship down that Shock's on, exposing his intent. Not quite sure what Yishram's intent is doing. He's slewing the ships to do some of the maneuver, but as he does that, it opens up a beautiful line of sight for you, Shock. And you go womp 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 womp, and the TIE fighter explodes.
That's what you call teamwork. All right, are we out of? Was that the last one? Okay.
You're out of combat. I cleared the tracker already.
Nice.
So let me actually get some things off the screen here.
So in the immediate near future, what can Shock do anything to help the hull, or we pretty much have to land and find stuff to repair?
You would need to actually fit. That's a physical hard repair that you have to do outside the ship. Shouldn't be hard to find materials around here. Yeatram, you have coordinates that you're supposed to be going to now that you're free of the TIE fighters and you can navigate the planet. It's a simple matter for you to navigate to the landing. I'm pulling it up on my screen. That's what's taking me so long. There we go. There we go. So as you clear out, you dial in the coordinates and go to where you're supposed to be meeting the Riom. I could not think of his name. I should have said something. Let me struggle here. I see how you are. So as you head toward Riom, you stay low, flying close to the junk, trying to stay off radar because those 4 TIE fighters, they came from the defense platform above that's orbiting above the system, and there's more of them. There's more TIEs will show up eventually, so you're trying to stay low and hide as best you can. And you also know the ship is pretty well beat up. Yes, Marcus.
Yeah. I was going to say, can I try and forge some papers saying the ship is actually a Raxus Prime registered ship?
Yeah. That's going to be a hard check, so 3.
Yeah. So just changing the ID code. So
Yeah. Yep.
So 3 difficulty.
Yep.
And let's see if I can get.
Nope.
Ah.
Damn Imperial codes. It's the chain cipher. It's just so hard to work out.
Well,
So-
at least didn't gain and lose anything.
Yeah, this is true. Eachram, ahead of you see a prominent ridge of junk and debris jutting into the end of a kilometer-long toxic lake of yellow-brown sludge. There's islands in that lake of wrecked ships, trash speeders, garbage. Along the shore, away from the ridge, you see several more of those Jawa scavenger skiffs working. They're fishing in heavily corroded astromech out of that lake. As you zip by them, you see your target, your destination. You see 3 caverns carved into the side of the ridge. And as you descend even with them, you can see that the roughness and the surrounding debris, they're steep to the shore. These would be really hard to spot from unless you knew where they were at. There's only one visible landing spot for a ship your size. As you get closer to that spot, you see a Rhodian appear. And he has a pair of lighted poles, and he starts guiding you into the alcove, giving you directions to get your ship safely down.
Good enough.
So you ease the ship in, only gonna make
Does it
it
look
pop.
like a Yaya clan?
No, it does not. Actually, the you don't recognize the Rhodian, but the icon on the back of his shirt when he turns is that of Isotech, Rio's company.
I'm still suspicious.
Very well, fair enough. So I'll ask as the ship settles down onto its skids. My first question to Yitrim is: do you completely power down, or do you leave her idling?
Oh, that's a tough question because there's a certain astromech droid who likes to make my life difficult. Oh, let's turn it off.
Okay. As you're shutting down the ship, next question I got for you. Once you get there, do you rotate it so that you're pointed out for a quick departure, or do you leave it nose in?
Oh no, we're absolutely going to turn it around.
Okay, yeah. Give me just a quick average piloting check. No difficulties. Just I want to see how well you do this. You're going to succeed regardless, unless you like massively fail. But it's narrow in there, is what it amounts to. Yeah, no problem. So you carefully pivot the Rancor and lower her down onto her skids. And as you do, as you get around to where you can see the light of day, you see another pair of Rhodians on the edge, work some controls, and you see a big mesh chain and drop down in front of it that further breaks up this cavern, making it harder to see. Nothing you couldn't get through with the ship without causing any damage, but enough to hide it from casual view on the outside. So now I'll leave it up to you guys as to what you're doing.
Well, I'm gonna put on my scout armor. Oh, by the way, I need that added to my sheet.
Oh.
Just so.
No problem. I'll take care of that right now while you're going there.
These but these Rhodian, we've seen no signs of the Empire down in here, right? I mean, these are
No.
obviously our contacts.
Yeah, you are where you're supposed to go.
Okay.
This is Raxus Prime, baby.
I'm going to change the authority on the ship so the droid can't open the doors.
Smart. That's smart.
Okay, so you're go in and change a few of the codes around the ship. I guess still leaving your guys access, the crew access, but what about your visitors? Do they got access?
It's literally only the droid.
Okay, you just lock out the droid. Okay.
Shock's gonna go out and start looking at the hole and shaking his head and
Okay.
banging on the side of the ship, and eventually ask the Rhodians where he can get repair parts to fix the hull.
Okay, so as you drop the ramp shock and you go outside to check the ship over, when you get to the bottom of the ramp, the Rhodian that was flagging, of course you don't know that because you were on the bridge, but the Rhodian that was flagging you is standing there, looks up at the ship and says, "My name is Norda. Damn, that you took a beating. What happened on your arrival?"
We had a TIE fighter escort.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Can you help us out here? I mean, he's doing all this through the translation droid, obviously,
Yeah.
but he's very agitated. Can you help us out getting parts to fix this thing?
Yeah, we can get that banged out for you. I'll get a crew working on it. Might take him a couple of days though. He's walking around because he stood there and Norda stood there and watched the ship as you landed. So, and he produces a tablet and starts keying instructions. Yeah, so we'll get that taken care of. So yeah, it's going to take a couple of days to get those hull plates replaced. I said, getting the materials not the problem. It's just the physical time to get it done. So, what other work are you wanting?
So Shock is going to then start to vaguely remember how they got ripped off at that other planet they were at. And he's going to say, "Oh, okay, hold on. How much is this going to cost us?"
Norda looks a bit confused at first. Aren't you a client?
Shock says, "Okay, that's the right answer. I just wanted to make sure. I've had some bad experiences with some of these planet-side repair crews."
Norda muzzle, for the lack of a better word to describe a Rhodian's mouth, kind of twitches and he goes, "Yeah, Sleemos like to rip people off. Where were you at? Nar Shaddaa?"
That is where we were, right? If I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll nod and say, "Yep, that's right. It was terrible."
Okay. Well, so I'll need you to let me know exactly what kind of work that you want done on your vessel. We'll get to work on the hull damage. In the meantime, what's the name of the vessel?
The Rabid Rancor, right? Is that what we're going by?
That's what you all told me.
Yeah. Rabid Rancor?
Norda
Yeah, Rabbit Rancor.
Norda keys that into the thing, and as soon as Norda does, an alert pops up on it and goes, "Wait a minute. You're the crew working for Realm, right?"
Shock's gonna slowly nod, yeah, and kind of move his hand down to his bowcaster.
"Oh, I'll let the boss know you're here. Where's the rest of the crew? I'll get someone to take you up to the meeting room, and we can further discuss what other work you want done to this bucket of bolts you got here."
Well, so Shock would roar up to the to Etrom and Roxy to tell them to come on down, and he would probably ask this Rhodian, right? Is that who I'm talking to? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. He'd ask the Rhodian if what kind of upgrades they can do besides just repairing the damage. If can they give us a little more speed? Better gunnery.
Norda kind of chuckles and goes, "Welcome to Scrap Heap Point. That's what we do here."
Oh, I like that. I like the sound of that.
Says, "Well, let's get you up and let you talk to the boss. I got instructions. Bring you immediately to Realm. He's here, by the way. I arrived a week and a half ago. So let's get you up there."
Is the rest of the crew okay with us immediately going to meet our contact, or is there something else we need to do first?
I just ask the person if they can help my droid, the astromech, because I bring him out.
Norda looks at that astromech, and
I push it a bit down the ramp to help it at some stage.
Well, yeah, I think we can help you with
wheels working.
Yeah, I'll get one of my guys working on it. How much you want to put into it? You just want it mobile? Do you want its software upgraded? What do you want done? So thing's in pretty rough
Whatever you
shape, but
can-
I've seen worse.
Just whatever you can do with this, and I hold out 100 credits. Just
Okay, so Nora looks at the 100
please,
credits.
please.
Okay, so Nora looks at the 100 credits and just casually takes it and says, "I'll see what I can do to help you out here."
Just as long as it can roll or something, you know.
so I can actually move. So
Yeah.
Nora flags someone over and one of because sit and they have a quick short conversation back and forth in Norda's natural Rhodian. It's another Rhodian, and there's a decided chuckle, and they begin wheeling the droid off, and the tech is first she's walking, says follow to the droid, follow me, and then when it obviously it can't move in a completely straight line, it's wobbling back and forth. She's finally just said you're saying in basic, just turn your motor off, I'll push you, and gets behind you and just starts shoving the droid toward the work bay in the side. Now let me give you a description of where you're at. Scrap heap point, you're in a more or less a tunneled out docking bay built into the side of one of these mountains of scrap. It's hidden from the outside. It's right on the shore of a lake. Yitrim, when you were landing, you noticed at least 2 other landing locations there. And then between each one of these locations where the caverns were at, and you could see them, these hidden docking bays, you could see a number of structures that once you recognize those as docking bays, you could say, well, you could figure out that wrecked ship courier over there is being used as some kind of building, and there appears to be another entry in one of the hillsides up above these docking ports where you can see people going in and out and where traffic is coming and going. The whole base from above would probably be totally overlooked because it's built out of scrap and wrecked ships and things like that. But as you're moving around, and of course there's chain covers over top of it all, to hide debris and break up patterns and things like that. You can see a number of techs moving back and forth. Norda leads the group of you. Question: do you leave Harsal in the ship and have his crew stay tucked away and hidden, or are you bringing Harsal and his group with you?
He wanted to come to see what this was all about.
Okay.
I imagine he's coming, isn't
Okay,
he?
that's fine.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose.
Okay, I didn't know if you guys wanted to hold out on, say hold out a little bit. So Harsal and IT comes with you. The other 2 of his crew offers to keep an eye on the ship for you, which kind of gets them out of our way for roleplay purposes. So you're led out of the docking bay you're in and over to, it's an old courier ship. It's kind of canted a little bit on its side, but you can see that they've done some modifications to it, made some side entries and stuff onto it, and they basically turned it into a office building with a couple of floors and stairs on the outside of it. Norda leads you into one of the into the inside of the thing, and down a short hallway, and inside it's obviously fully functional as far as the environmental controls. You feel the air conditioning come on, the air's clear, there's no nasty smog or chemicals in the air or anything like that. So he leads you down to the room and pulls you around to the side, and you go into a small conference room. It says, Rian will be here shortly. In the meantime, help yourself to refreshments. As he points, there's a protocol droid standing there. And offers to the protocol droid, says, introduces himself, says, I will see to your refreshment needs while we wait on Master Real. As you guys get settled in for just a few minutes, and it doesn't take long, the droid goes away and comes back with whatever you asked for, within limits. I mean, it's an outpost situation. And within probably about 10 minutes, Realm appears. He looks around at you, and as soon as he sees Harsal, he's like, you just see this bit of wonderment in the Twilight's eyes. He goes, Captain Harsal? And he introduces himself to Harsal, and there's a brief conversation back and forth. Riom, I'm going to pull Riom out on the sheet there so you have him. And Harsal tells the story, and once Riom gets through everything there, he turns back to you and goes, well, looks like I owe you guys a little bit of money. Think the deal was we cancel your debts, and you get a percentage of what we bring in as salvage. Wasn't that the deal?
That's what we had talked about.
Well, I didn't expect you to bring back survivors. He looks at Captain Harsal and the droid, quite shocked still. So, we'll consider your debts canceled. So you're good to go there. Now, he snaps his fingers, and the protocol droid leaves and then comes like almost immediately comes back. And the protocol droid has a credit stick in several credit sticks in its hand. And he holds the stick up and he says, so who's in charge of your money?
We're just going to split it.
Fair enough. 3-way split. If you will, he slots it, he pulls out a reader, and he slots the chit in there and turns it around, and you can see it has the 2,000 credits down payment that he offered you to cut, as for your expenses, the other half of the expenses that he offered you. Let's see that 2,000 credits on there. What he owes you is on there. Because if you want to input your codes or your sticks here, we'll split that up. Assuming you do, so each assuming you do, so each one you put in your codes or however you set the transfer up, the funds is electronically transferred to you, to your accounts, and we're going to make it easy. Let's see, 2,000 divided by 3. You guys would make it difficult, wouldn't you? I should have modified that number.
Should have made it 21.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, that's what we'll do. We'll make it 2,100. 100 divided by 3, that's 700 credits each. So each of you add 700 credits to your character sheets. Because now, he looks at Captain Harsal and he says, and he motions the droid, and Captain Harsal and the droid and IT disappearances. We'll discuss with him later. He says, my question really is for you at this point. You proved yourself rather. Actually, let me get into his voice properly. He had a Russian accent, didn't he? Okay. Well, you proved yourself. That's so horrible. I can't do accents tonight. So you proved yourself useful. You interested in a job?
We're always interested in work. Yeah.
Good. This facility here, Scrap Heap Point, as we affectionately call it, allows us to salvage from the local area. I'll tell you what, we'll fix up their ship out there, get those dings you took getting in here repaired. Consider that on the house. That's nothing major. We have plenty of hull plates floating around, as you can expect. I'm willing to pay either in credits or upgrades. I don't think I truly explained to you exactly what I do. Isotech functions as a upgrade shop for some of the, shall we say, less reputable beings of the galaxy. We work on everything from handheld equipment. He points at your portable slicing gear, Roxy, to things as large as And he points to Eacham starships. You want it done, I have the techs that can get it done. You want upgrades to your ship? I can make that happen. I'm willing to pay in trade or in credits for work done for me. Are you interested?
I mean, Shock's definitely interested, so he'll be looking at the others, kind of nodding his head.
Eatram's got to get his rocket
Yeah,
leg
well,
somehow.
It's
Depends
okay.
on how much and what it is.
Well, the jobs vary from time to time, but most of what I need is clients will ask for things that aren't readily available in places like Scrap Heap Point. We might need you to acquire certain items for us. We might need you to go pick up a client's ship and bring it to us. The jobs vary. They're odd jobs. So not only do we do equipment, we also do cybernetics. He goes, come, let me show you. So he takes you out and he starts taking you on a tour of Scrap Heap Point. Okay. And you picked up a lot just, from your walk across the thing. So he points to the building, just comes and says, that's research and development. So we do some of it. Mainly it's where we meet with clients and discuss changes and upgrades to the vessels or whatever. We do a lot of our vessel upgrades here. We have another facility in deep space for security reasons. Usually we bring the vessels there and then, or have the vessels meet us someplace else, and then a courier like you all might function as would then bring the vessel here, keeping us secure, so they don't know exactly where we're at. A lot of times the clients will ride along, but they're not allowed to know where the facilities are at. As he starts taking you around through there, and he goes toward the back. Remember how I said there was, an entrance in the back in the rubble? As you approach that entrance, I need all of you to make a. Trying to think what kind of check this would be. Give me a second. I added that equipment to your sheet, Roxy, by the way.
Yeah, I saw. And I've already told you how I've painted it.
Yes, that you have. Trying to think here. So it'd be kind of a lore check. So either lore as an option, or streetwise as an option, or history. Any of those three. Trying to look if there's even a history skill in here. I don't think there is. So lore functions as history. So lore, outer rim lore, obviously if you have something like that, or underworld lore would work. Any kind of lore check. It'd be a 2 difficulty check, no setback. Let's see if you guys recognize what's embedded in this wall of trash.
Underworld work.
Underworld would work.
No.
Underworld would work.
Oh, we'll go with that.
Eacham recognizes it. It'll take a second. Eacham, as you begin to approach, let's see here. There comes Roxy. Roxy recognizes it. Shock, you going to roll, or are you just going to be clueless?
I'll give it a whirl, but I don't really think I'll do streetwise. I guess.
Okay.
They're all the same for me. And sorry, what was the setback or boost?
No, nothing. Just 2.
Nothing.
2 purple.
Just two difficulty. Gotcha.
Yep. Yeah, this is not a hard check because these vessels are kind of common.
Oh,
So-
wow, we all succeed. Nice.
So as you begin to approach the back, and you begin to see, the layers of garbage and stuff piled on top of it, you realize that what's hidden in that trash is an absolute gem. Hidden in the trash is a Corellian blockade runner, like the ship Princess Leia had. Riom leads you into the ship and goes, this is our little side project. She's almost ready to leave. Now, we've been working on her for a while. When we first took up shop here, one of our crews happened to wander across this thing. We figured it'd be an absolute wreck, and we were right. It was pretty bad off, but we are slowly and carefully getting this ship back into working order. We call her the Blockade Bandit. So he takes you into the ship, into one of the actual side entrances of the ship, through one of the airlocks and into the vessel. He takes you in, come to the deck, and goes, points to the right, and the way like leading back into the where engineering and things like that should be, and this is something that Yitram you would recognize, but you've recognized this basically out of a ship. You've been on enough ships in your life. That way seems to be completely blocked off and cluttered and full. And says there's extensive damage back there we're still working on. So we're getting there. It leads you back up this way. This way, however, we have more things. And he looks around and goes, I'm assuming none of you guys are hurt, right?
No, I didn't take any damage.
Say no one took any damage. I don't think anybody's seriously hurt. Does anybody still have any criticals in effect?
Oh yeah, good question. Actually, let me check my sheet. I
think
just
I
have
have
some.
strain.
Yeah, I have some strain, but no
Okay.
wounds.
I couldn't remember if anybody had a critical or not. Because as he walks down through there, he walks by and you see the sign clearly labeled in Arabesh, Medical Bay. He goes, we're getting her fixed. But like I said, we can definitely use people with your skills if you're interested. Norda tells me it'll take a couple of days to get your ship banged out and get the hull dents out of it. That is unless you want to start out by having some modifications made to it while you're here. Or other items. Looks around, looks meaningfully at Yitram and Roxy and Shock each in turn. Out of character, out of game, guys. These guys are a black market mod shop. You can pretty much get anything you want done to your vessels or ship here. It'll cost, but most cases, Riom will probably be willing to, since you're working for him, take it out and trade for jobs working for him or cash. He also does point out to you that he understands that, he may not need you all the time. So when he doesn't need you, you're free to seek out other jobs or other assignments. Just as long as you're available for him within a reasonable amount of time whenever he calls for you.
It almost sounds too good to be true. I like it though.
Because as he gets put says, we'll need to set you up with quarters unless you just want to stay in your ship while they're banging on the hull. We can set you up with some quarters in one of the crew bays while they get your ship put piece back together and get that hull damage fixed. You took a pounding coming in here. What happened?
Empire.
Yeah, a couple kamikaze TIE fighters.
So that was local?
Yeah, right when we broke atmosphere.
That means they're picking up the patrols again. Usually you can get in and out no problem. Okay. I'll make sure the spotters stay alert. So it's going to take a few days to bang out the hull, but you're more than welcome to hang out here. And you can consider my job offer. You don't have to answer me right now. If you don't want to work for me, that's fine. You owe me nothing, and you're debt-free, at least for me. And I own the debt that the Hutts had on you. So. By the way, once we get an appraisal of how much your cut of the Sal Nalor is, I'll, of course, credit your accounts and pay you when I see you. That 2,000 is just a down payment because, and he turns to you just frankly saying, I was not expecting survivors. Salvage, yes. Survivors, no. Because I need to go meet with Captain Harsal, so I'll leave you to find your way around. And he presses into one of your hands an ident card. This is a basic employee ident card. Will get you in and out of most of the facilities here, at least where our basic techs and stuff can go. Make yourself comfortable, enjoy yourself, and I'll have one of the droids track you down with room assignments once they've been made. And he excuses himself and he slips down the hallway.
Yeah, but he didn't also expect us to get him a space station as well. even if it is banged up.
Have we mentioned that to him?
No, but I'm sure Harsal will mention that to him.
Okay. So there's no advantage to keeping that a secret, I suppose.
No, not unless you just want to. If it's something you did want to keep secret, you could have told Harsal that already. I would let you retcon that, so to speak.
What do the other party members think? Is it worth?
I don't really
I don't
see
know.
a point to it. I mean, what are we
Yeah.
gonna do with a half-defunct space station?
And they'll
I
need
mean-
they'll need resupply and all the rest of that, right? So we have to rely on him for that probably.
Doesn't mean we can't try and get a few extra creds.
For having for finding a functional space station they can use as a base. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine
No,
he was
I
gonna
makes
hide
sense to me.
them somewhere.
Yeah. It was pretty resourceful of us to find that, so yeah, I'm down with trying to finagle a little extra credits out of that. What do you think, Eitrim?
Each of the opinion that we just leave it to goodwill if he's gonna keep working for us. But if you want to try and get some more out of him, he won't stop you.
Yeah, good. Well, fine. Rolls her eyes.
Okay, so can kind of fast forward time as you guys go a little bit through there. You spent it's a couple of days have passed. It's been pretty uneventful. I'm sure you've checked in on the rancors several times. Over half of the hull damage is now repaired on the rancor. They've got all the materials and stuff laying there. It just takes time to get that many holes dinged out of it and reroute a few mechanical issues and things like that occurred because of the hull damage. And as you're moving around the encampment one day, one of the crew that you got to know, just one of the nameless crowd of techs that are there, and there's quite a few techs there, probably about 20, 30 techs working at the facility. One of them hollers and says, "Hey, you ever seen a Jawa trade skiff? They're one of the few things that qualifies as sightseeing on this planet. You never know what they're going to dredge up, and half the time, I think you should wear a hazard suit to meet them. Still, occasionally you find some really cool crap. There's a few skiffs pulling into the number 2 bay if you're interested."
Oh, Shock is interested for sure.
Who knows?
Each's also interested, but is definitely. Willing to bet this is the one that got hit by the TIE fighter.
Yeah, just don't let them see the ship.
Who knows what they may have? They may have something for that rust bucket of ship of yours. So they lead you over to number 2 alcove, which you know where it's at, but they lead you around through there as you go, and Norda actually falls in with you as you're headed over that way. As they go in and pull the number 2 curtain aside, there's 3 large repulsor skiffs there floating there in the edge of the alcove. Otherwise than that, the alcove's empty. They look similar to the skiffs that you almost crashed into a few days ago there, Eitrim. One of the skiffs is piled with parts and equipment that appear to be from starships and vehicles. The second has a collection of all manner of crates and containers, and the third skiff is covered with droid parts and chassis. The Jawas are already receiving gifts and frantically negotiating on board the skiffs. Norda goes over and starts inspecting the crates and talking, and you see Norda pull a blaster from one of the crates and look it over and lay it back down in there, and I'll leave it to you guys from there.
Probably have a look in each pile. Probably
Okay.
the droid one first.
Okay.
Because I want to see if I can find one I can cannibalize to make my droid a whole droid.
Okay. So you look there, Roxy, in one of the crates, and you sure enough, there is the chassis portion of an astromech droid. It's only got one leg on it, but most of the chassis appears to be intact. it's pretty badly scarred and corroded, but sure, there's probably something salvageable in it. One of the Jawas sees you looking at it and comes over and starts extolling the virtues of this particular piece of scrap. Much good. You like. Has lots of good stuff in it.
I might like at the right price.
Ah, right price, right price. You good person. You good negotiator. So, hmm, um, flips it around and goes, "What you offer?"
If anyone else wants to go, I'm gonna have a look, see what I've got to offer, and then
Okay. Eacham, what are you looking for?
Eachram's gonna see if they have any cybernetic parts.
Okay, so you're basically on the same skiff that Roxy's on, which probably not a bad idea to be close to one of the squishies, as you would call them, with Jawa's running around. You spot amongst the wreckage a set of legs that appear to be from an older astromech droids. Give me a perception check. Want to see if you spot something particular about these legs.
Oh boy. It'll be rough. That's very surprising if I'm honest.
Okay, so you spot two different astromech legs in the bin, but in both cases, because you're familiar with droid equipment and having dealt with enough astromechs over the years, you realize that both of those legs have the rocket boosters in them. Now, you know what condition they're in, anything like that, but they both have the rocket boosters in them that you could probably be used to modify and create rocket legs for yourself.
Well, here's the solution to all of my falling nightmares. Because falling more than a story is instant death.
So another Jawa materializes and looks at you and goes, "You droid, go away."
Shock will stalk up and kind of growl at the Jawa and point to the astromech. And was it an astromech? That's what had the rocket legs, right?
Well, there's two astromech legs in there, two different ones. But you saw what
yeah.
Eacham was looking at, and
Okay.
I'm sure he's mentioned.
I'll motion to the two legs and ask him how much. Rub my fingers together, whatever Jawa understand for how much.
Yeah. So you make the universal sign of cash there. The Jawa looks at you, looks at Yitram, looks at you, looks at Yitram, looks at the legs, and goes, 100 each.
Is there some kind of can I do a mechanics check to see whether I believe that's a reasonable price?
Sure. Give me a hard mechanics check.
Okay.
Because they're just letting them in without picking them up and manipulating them and all that. And Josh probably let you do that.
So 2 difficulty or
three
for hard. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. You can't tell without physically manipulating and working on them. You do seem like they're probably functional, or at least have functional parts that you could begin to use to build something there.
Okay. Would Eatram have a better idea, or he just knows he wants them?
That's Eatram. Question for Eatram, not me.
Eachram look at them and tell if they're strong enough to actually do something with his size compared to an astromech. I don't know what my mass is looking like in comparison.
The pair of them together probably wouldn't be able to put them like per se in your feet, but you could probably build something like similar to like Din Djarin's backpack or something along those lines. Could probably be put together to give you, if not the ability to fly, at least to hover and then turn it into like a feather in D&D terms of feather fall.
Oh, well, that's good enough for me.
Would Eatram have any idea whether they're worth 200 credits or?
Probably not. He's a pilot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably not. He's not. That's not really his thing.
How about Shock's gonna kind of scratch his head, and then he's gonna reach down and try to pick up one of the legs to take a better look at it. How did the Jawa respond to that?
The Jawa first tries to swatch. It goes like he's going to swat you away, like with normal. Then he kind of looks at you again and realizes, maybe not.
Yeah, I'll give him I'll show him a little fang, not an outright growl, but definitely some fang.
Yeah.
Remind him he comes up to your knee.
Yeah. So he doesn't stop you. But you can tell he's not happy about it.
Okay. Can I make a new check with
Yeah,
I'm handling it and looking at it? Okay. What would be the
same difficulty, but I'm going to give you a bonus on it. And
Okay,
since you've conferred with each, make it 2 bonuses.
so 2 boosts?
Yeah, 2 boosts. Sorry, I keep saying bonus. I mean boost.
Yeah, that's
There
fine.
we go. So you realize that at least the one you got in your hand, there's probably the parts are more than likely salvageable. It would take some work. It wouldn't, it's not going to be take it off and bolt it on each room kind of thing. But you or some of the techs here could probably turn it into a operational variation of a jetpack.
Okay. And how about the price? Do I think he's ripping me off big time or what?
It's a Jawa. It's junk. A jetpack. I have no idea what those things even cost. Let me look those up real quick.
2,000?
That's what I'm thinking too.
Or a Mandalorian one.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a serious jetpack though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say, but they don't have that many. That's the problem in the
attachments,
book.
yeah.
So probably 200 is actually not that bad of a price then,
Let's see.
if I can build one out of the 2 legs.
Yeah, well, you can at least have the beginnings of the parts you need. You might have to find other stuff to make it work. Let's see, I'm trying to find it in my stuff here without having to go look in the book. Triggers, actors, adversaries, force powers, gear. There we go. Okay. A JT-12C jetpack, which is kind of like what Din Djarin has, is about 4,750. And you'd need other parts to make it work, obviously, and then work done to finalize it. But this is the motors you would need to do the work out of.
Okay.
The other jetpack is Z6, which is kind of what Boba Fett used. That's a 5,000 credit jetpack.
Ooh, okay. So I'll turn to Eatrum and tell him, I could make this work. You want to buy it? I could probably build you a jetpack with this. Something that'll break your fall if you ever fall.
The heavy massive metal known as Eatrum will give the thumbs up and fork out the credits.
Okay.
All right.
So you pick up and just for now, just on your inventory, just put in 2 astromech legs.
Do you want? I guess Shock will take him until he can build the whole thing.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Can I keep an eye out as I'm looking around for
Yeah.
other parts that would be useful for building the pack
Oh.
now that I'm on that little
Yeah.
mission?
Now give me average mechanics check. That's just kind of this is you kind of plan in your head. Okay, you got the motors now. What else do you need?
Yeah.
Okay. So in your head, you roughly you realize this is just the beginning parts of it. This would be the motors, but you would need some way to mount it to Eatrum, which ultimately I guess you could just weld it to Eatrum. To be honest, he is a droid, but you'd need some kind of control system or some way to program out, to allow Eatrum to control them. You'd need some kind of fuel bladder, stuff like that. So as you begin casting around in the parts bin there, you spot a cylinder that could probably be used to hold the wrong franchise. That could be able to hold the Tabana that this pack would run, that those engines would run off of.
Okay. I'll point to that and ask how much for that.
The Jawa chitters back and forth, and he says 50. And he actually holds it up and bangs and goes, solid, no leaks, been checked.
Eatrum, another 50 okay with you?
If it means I don't have to fall again, absolutely.
Cool. Can I drag these items from a compendium, or do I need to manually add them to the gear?
Just you have to manually add them to the gear because these are just
Okay.
parts.
I'm not quite sure how to do that actually. I'm
Okay,
not seeing
I'll do
an add.
gear
function.
equipment.
You just write it in your
Put it
biography.
in your
Yeah,
notes.
just put in your biography for now. That'll work.
Oh, that'll work. I can do that.
Yep, that'll work.
All right, so 2 astromech legs
Legs
with
and a tank, fuel tank. Some other things you're
Okay.
going to need too, but take some time. Ultimately, it'll probably still end up costing each of them about 3,000 credits total to get it all built. But you're reducing that, or not reducing it. You're finding the parts to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean in reality it ought to be quite a bit less than a regular one since I'm doing all the labor.
Right. If you're doing labor or if he has it done elsewhere. But anyway, okay. So back to Roxy. If you're ready, Roxy.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him I want to see what else you got. You know, make a bundle deal. You know, we can, and I want to see if I can see any weapons and what ship components they have.
Okay. So the weapons are over on one of the other skiffs. As you go over to the weapons section, there's all kinds of just blasters, pistols, rifles in various states of repair. Some are bent, some are not in the best of shape, some look like they're functional. A little bit of work they can be made functional. So, what kind of weapon are you looking for in particular?
I'm looking for something that's probably highly illegal.
Okay.
Like a lot of damage, and definitely not supposed to be happening. Probably military or
military grade, some kind of military.
Actually, maybe even some antiques because Roxy does like collecting weapons.
Okay, I got an idea. Just gotta see who's gonna be here. Okay, I'm not finding it there, but give me a second because I know where I can find it. Where they at? Where they at? Oh, different adventure. That's what I'm not seeing. There you go. Gear equipment. And of course, they just listed as that. Go figure. So as you're scrounging around through there and looking at what's in those bins and that sort of thing, you spot a couple of things that trigger your interest. One, you spot a not in the best condition, but a DC-15A blaster rifle. Your background and history and that sort of thing, and your interest in weapons, you know that the DC-15A, very illegal, because the 15A was the blaster rifle of the clones.
Oh, that rapid fire one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's a heavy blaster rifle. Stat wise, so you know what it is. Range heavy, as far as you need heavy skill for it. Damage is 9, crits on a 3. But it's that long blaster rifle that you saw the clones carrying. The other thing you spot is a familiar white helmet. In and amongst the loots of equipment and bin, you find a old Phase 1 clone trooper helmet.
Now, what do those clone trooper helmets have in there? Do I have to make a knowledge roll to see
Yeah,
what
just,
they would...
just give me a quick lore roll or knowledge, underworld knowledge, something like that.
Yeah. Difficulty?
Just 2. You're just recovering stuff.
Ew.
You can't remember the exact specs of the helmets, but you know that those helmets, depending on what model the helmet is that you're looking at, and that's the part you're not very clear on at this point. You know it's phase 1, but you don't know is it a clone trooper helmet, is it an ARC trooper helmet? You know, whose helmet is it, or was it? But typically they would have in them at least a comm link, and there were rumors that they would have some kind of targeting system or some method to tie into the targeting systems of their weapons. Now you don't know if that's true or not. Those are the rumors.
Now, not necessarily illegal, the helmet, is it? 'Cause it's just a helmet.
Actually, it is because
Ah.
it's military grade equipment.
I was just thinking because the Mandalorians wear helmets.
Oh, it's not illegal to have
They
a
might
helmet.
be.
No, it's not illegal to have a helmet at all. But the clone helmet is
Right.
illegal. It's actually restricted.
Alright, so I'd have to probably make
but
it look
technically,
different.
but technically speaking, the armor you're wearing is illegal.
I mean, that paints it look different.
Yeah, but still, it's still a restricted item.
Alright. So I'll put those aside along with the droids, and then I'll check out the ship parts to
Okay.
see if there's any jamming equipment or like sensor sort of like dampening stuff that can scatter.
Okay.
I'm putting together a bundle because I
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to make sure we get what we want.
Right. Okay. So you start scrambling through it. You don't find anything particularly, like a sensor scanning or jam, anything like that. You do find vehicle weapons. It's not going to be what I want. I don't think. Maybe it will. Hold on. Ah. You find the casing and, well, everything but the warhead from an old jammer missile. The missile is designed to literally create jamming on a target when you hit it, basically to scramble its sensors. You don't find, per se, a set of jamming equipment, but you do find an old jammer missile, at least most of one. Looks like they might have removed parts of the motor, but the jammer part of it's still intact, just there's no warhead on it. Of course, those didn't have a warhead, more so than they punched in the hull of a vessel and lodged there to create a jamming field on the ship for you.
I'm not sure I'm interested.
Okay.
So I'll ask how much for the rifle, the helmet, and the droid together.
Okay, the droid chassis. Yeah, the Jawa that you've been dealing with, he's when you go to set aside, he picks up, he puts up out for you, and he comes back, he looks at it and goes, okay, and he starts jabbering back and forth and jabbers at the droid that's talking to Yitram and Shock, and he goes back and forth and he goes back and forth and he goes, 2,000 credit or armor. Oh, Sasha.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. Can I use deception or streetwise to try and haggle
Sure, certainly.
the price?
Sure can. Let me see. I think they gave me
Could I use both or just one?
one or the other.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, it's going to be an opposed check. Once you get set up there, once you're ready, I'll give you the.
Yeah, I'm just seeing which ones. Okay, they're both the same. So
Okay.
I'll just use streetwise because I don't want to deceive if I don't have to.
Right. The difficulty is 2 purple and 1 red.
2 purple, 1 red.
Yeah, these guys are they're Jawas. They make their living haggling.
Sorry, I had trouble finding it.
No problem.
Not used this roll a lot. Oh.
He goes, as you begin haggling back and forth, he finally comes up and he goes, make deal. Give you he points to the chunk of the astromech, that you're interested in. He goes, 400 credits that. And he points to the blaster and he goes, with rifle, 1,500 credit for it. 400 credit for that, so 1,900 credit. Or armor.
I'm not giving him my armor.
I didn't figure you were, but he's obviously interested in it, though.
Yeah, I'm scowling. New deal. Trade?
He perks up that. What trade?
I have goggles. Very nice goggles. And I show him my data and scanning goggles.
Ooh, okay. I'm just pulling those up so I can get a price check. Is all. I know, you know what I'm saying?
They work excellently. Very nice. Very good for your job.
Oh, there they are. He listens and kind of shows, nice goggles. Goggles, rifle, goggles for astromech, knock 200 off. So 200 credit for astromech, 1,500 for rifle.
So how much is that? Sorry, just
It'd
having trouble.
be 1,700. Be 1,700.
Can I try and haggle, deceive him and try and haggle up the price of the goggles? Try and make
Sure.
him.
Sure. Be
Yeah.
two purple,
It's
one
hard to
red.
find. Yeah, it's hard. 2 purple, 1 red. Yeah, just trying to make it say, it's hard to find working stuff here.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Just want to give a bit of flavor.
No problem.
2 purple, 1 red.
Okay, there it comes. Oh. You go, let me see. And he looks the goggles over. He didn't put them on his head, but he holds them up to his eyes because, what good? Tell you what, give you goggles, points to the astromech, 100 credits plus goggles. Rifle still 1,500, so 1,600 for everything.
And how much is just the astromech and helmet?
His is, helmet too? I throw helmet in. Astromech and helmet, 100 credits plus goggles.
And that's the scanner and the data goggles, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
So 100 credits, and I'll take those off my sheet.
Okay. Fortunately, the helmet's not a separate list item, so just put it in your biography that you have the helmet. I'll have to make an item for you. That's what it amounts to. And same for the astromech. Well, the guts of an astromech anyway. Something's got to be working at, I think, better than what your astromech is. Okay. Anything else you guys want to haggle here?
None from me.
Okay.
I think I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So You guys move away from the Jawas. Now, just to show you how just so you're aware how things have changed. The way this encounter was written, you were actually supposed to get ambushed by the Yar clan there. But it's kind of hard to do when you guys killed the Yar clan.
Yeah, that does throw a wrench in the plans.
So, I was like, oh crap, they're supposed to get, attacked by the Yars. So the next day, as you're messing about, I'm assuming Roxy, you guys have went through and started working on the Astrum, with him and all that.
Yeah, I bring the astromech. I also ask if a few more 100 credits will get me anything significant on my astromech repair.
So they look at the parts you got and say, there are some. They point there are some functional parts in that Hulk that you traded for. They can put over into it, and it looks like one of the major programming pieces is there that it needs for its motivators. So it looks like they can definitely get the motivators completely working toward actually be able to trundle properly at proper speeds. And they tell you that there's a couple of the manipulator arms that was in that frame that you purchased that they can get working for you. So for another 100 credits, you can get it to where it's functioning, and they're able to. They'll even throw in programming for you so that it can begin to do basic repair work on the ship, as if it has one green die in repair.
Yeah, another 100 credits then.
Though they kind of tell us this, the only downside right now is that they point out to you that they're showing you says the head unit, because you got an old as an R4 unit with the big tall conical head looking things, because the head unit is pretty badly damaged. So we can fix the sensor, but we don't have the one for that model. So the best thing we can do so that it functions properly is remove the outer frame of its head for now. So the head will still be there, all the components will be there, just the outer shell, the metal shell.
It's naked.
Yeah, it'd be naked, exactly.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so they begin working on, they start working with that one, and at some point Nordawalks comes by and tells you guys, if you'd like, we're getting ready to send a crew out to scout the trash piles for components and items and things like that. If you guys want to tag along, we're more than happy to have you on. For, if nothing else, that you could help function as guards for the group if you're interested. Better than sitting around the camp anyway.
I'm down.
Okay, so
Never
Roxy.
hurts to poke around.
Okay, so Roxy and Bertram or Yeacham are going. Shock?
Sure.
Okay. So they take you down to one of you go over to the group, and they, of course, they tell you, bring your weapons with you, of course, because you're functioning as the guards for the group, and they load up on skiffs, a pair of skiffs, and not unsimilar from the ones that the Jawas are using, and they raise up and they fly out across the garbage there, keeping low and behind the hills so they're not easily spotted. You can tell these guys are really good at not being detected, not showing their hand that they're there. And as they're soaring across through there, I'm going to ask each one of you to make a perception roll with one difficulty. Okay. And I'm doing this to see what you might spot. I got some things in my head that you might see out there. I just want to see what you guys, how well you see things out there. So just a perception roll. I guess the right skill. Yep. Shock doesn't see anything. Roxy sees something.
Yeacham had a triumph.
Yeah, Yeacham had a triumph. That's what I was going to say. Yeacham had a wow. Okay, so definitely going to see one of the things that I had planned to put in here. So as you're sailing across the garbage heaps and all that, each of your photoreceptors land on something. It's a shape of a ship, actually. You quickly go through your data banks. And being a pilot, you're fairly fluent in various ships designs and hull designs. Make sure I get the right model here. You see a fairly decent sized vessel, or part of one anyway. It's an older model. You see the 3 nozzles sticking out of the back, in the wreck. You see what appears to be a BT-7 Thunderclap. It's an old design, like Old Republic old design. But those vessels were known to have been the preferred vessels of the Republic military back then. The ship would have functioned as a cargo hauler and forward command center for the heavy troops of the Old Republic back in those days. And it looks to be like it's largely intact. It's buried under several layers of trash, but could probably be dug out as you're flying across through there. Roxy, as you're looking across through there, you spot also a ship that catches your eye. You spot the remains of a Y-wing fighter. Most of it's intact.
What? I spy a Y-wing.
I spy a BT-7.
What the feck is a BT-7?
An old Republic assault ship.
So Yitrim points over at it, and you can see the outlines of it. I can't easily get that in here. So let me just do this. I will go to our Discord chat. Yep, never mind. Birch has already done it for me.
Yeah.
So whenever you mention the Y-wing, the skiff pilot slow says, "Where's the Y-wing?"
About yonder there?
So they look down where you're pointing. Hadn't spotted that one before. The skiff slides over and slides in beside it, and quickly the skiff crews, because there's 2 skiffs in it, they hop off and start assessing it. It doesn't take them long to assess it. And it's, well, one engine's destroyed. Looks like significant damage to the cockpit. The whole backside that you can't see is pretty much destroyed. He goes, but I start fishing around the back, and he goes, but the astromech's still here. Aren't you needing parts for an astromech?
Oh, yeah. Come on, little buddy. You're heading home with me.
So takes you guys about an hour or so, and with the crew's help, to pull that astromech out. And at the same time, they're stripping the other parts off that Y-wing to make it usable. Or not usable, to get to usable parts off of it. And they pull those parts off. The astromech is damaged, but everything down inside the socket is undamaged. So basically, from the head down, it's perfectly fine. Because, we could use these parts and transfer them over to yours, or we could just transfer the head unit from yours over to this droid. Do you
Stay
point out?
back at base.
Okay.
Which one's better?
Yeah. Okay. Birch or Yitrim, do you point out the BT-7 to him?
Yeah, I think I do.
Okay, so when you say that, they're like, pretty much most of them are the same question as Roxy is, what the crap's a BT7? And then when you point to it, their eyes get wide. They're like, oh my goodness. And one of the crew says, well, that wasn't here last week. And he starts looking, goes, yeah, it was. The garbage has shifted. They zoom over, once they get done, they zoom over toward it, and you're able to see more of the ship. It has some extensive hull damage. The engines look pretty rough, but it looks like the hull is basically intact. Do you want to go inside and explore?
I mean, yeah,
Kinda.
I want to.
Yeah, there's the deck plan of a BT7 in case you're not familiar with them. Okay. So you go into the ship. I'm getting the tab out so I can see what I'm doing. I used to play that game once upon a time. So you go into the ship and there's a ramp on the bottom, an entry ramp, and you come up into the entry ramp into a rather spacious cargo cargo entry bay. Not as spacious as say your ship, Eatram, but still spacious for a drop ship. And immediately there's an engine room there's a room directly ahead, and then there's a room to the left and the right. And it takes a little bit of exploring. You find that there's holographic tables in here. Roxy's making ooh noises. You find that a little bit would have been the crew quarters. You see that there's actually at one point there was a small medical bay in here, and that sort of thing. Most of the equipment is gutted and gone. It's mostly just the frame. But the frame itself seems to largely be intact. This vessel could probably be salvaged. And then that's when you make the startling discovery. As Roxy and Shock step into the engine room, can Shock make a mechanics check, please? Or not Roxy, Eatram and Shock. And Eatram make a mechanics check as well.
What's the
Difficulty is a 3. 3 purple.
All right.
Shock doesn't see it at first until you point it out. Whoever had this vessel must have had it for a long time. And apparently at some point, they had upgraded the hyperdrive on it. This vessel has I won't call it a modern hyperdrive, because it's obviously still an old Republic design. But Yitram, when you look at it, it looks like that hyperdrive might be faster than the one that's in your ship.
Uh-oh.
So a class 1 rather than a class 2?
Quite possibly. Or maybe a 1.5.
All right, I'll look over at the I guess the skiff captain,
Mhm.
salvage captain.
Mm-hmm.
Say, hey, you think you could pull this out of here?
He looks at it, and they're looking around in awe, because this ship should be long gone. Whoever had this thing did a marvelous job taking care of it. He looks at the engine, and he goes, yeah, looks like it's mostly intact. He hooks a scanner up to it and puts a little bit of juice into it, enough to get the system running. He kind of scratches his head a minute, and he goes, come here a minute, droid.
Sure.
He walks over and he points to the scanner. You should be seeing, Arabesh symbols and those sort of things. And you're seeing Arabesh, but the dialect on it is extremely old. Extremely old. And it's largely in machine code. And that's why he's having trouble reading. Even his scanner's having trouble interpreting it. It takes you a few minutes to process what it's saying. And basically it boils down to system nominal, hyperdrive functional. And then it lists a few things that needs maintenance and repairs and things like that. But it basically boils down to a little bit of spit, polish, and shine. That hyperdrive works.
It'd be pretty useful for us, especially if we're going to keep working.
Because I can get a crew out here to salvage it. No one's seen this ship for a while. Forever, for that matter. Because did you see the hollow table over in the other room? He leads
Sure did. And I don't think Raxy's left it since.
He goes, you know what? I think our crews could probably retrofit both of those items into your ship. I'm sure Riom would charge you the installation fee, but we could waive the cost of the equipment, at least. You'll have to talk with Riom about it, but I'm sure it could be done.
I'm not against it. Anything to make the old Rancor a little nicer.
Okay. I'll get a crew out here, and at the very least, we'll salvage the gear, even if you all don't have it installed in your ship. We'll salvage it and sell it. And by the way, I don't think we mentioned this, but skiff crews get a percentage of what they find. So you're getting paid one way or the other. The rest of the day on the skiff crew, I mean, they don't do the salvage work on that there. That's going to take into the whole salvage team, but he marks the location, and you guys return back to Scrap Heap Point. Later that evening, Norda comes to you to discuss what you found. Norda tells you, says, look, that vessel's an antique. That engine's an antique, even though it's newer than that vessel should have in it. But Riom is willing to cut a deal for you. We'll install it and the hollow table in your ship.
Okay.
I have to get the price for it. I got to go find the upgrade pricings. That's my problem. I do not have those on my screen. The price, I'm going to say this just for now, and you guys can decide 100% sure whether you'll do it later or not. Riom offers this: is why don't we'll do the work for you, and we'll take it out of your paychecks.
Like the money they've already given us, or future paychecks?
Future paychecks.
Okay.
They'll do the upgrade work, and then basically you'll have a debt with Riom's company for the installation of these two items into the Rancor.
Get out of debt, get into debt. Average day.
And the price is not a rip-off price at all. In fact, they cut some of the cost off of it because you supplied the equipment for it. They just got to do the work. I just don't have that price in front of me right now, and I'm not going to spend your time in game looking it up right now.
Yeah, it'll get worked out.
Yeah. So basically, you end up back in debt to Riom, but you end up back in debt for Riom for upgrades to the Rancor. And the upgrade you're getting is a Class 1 hyperdrive, and you're getting a holographic communication suite installed on the Rancor.
Well, better a little bit of debt for a friend than
Than a slug.
Exactly. I have to run, by the way. I put a message in the
Okay, cool.
chat, but
We're
I
getting
like
close.
I like the way this is going.
We're getting close to wrap up.
Okay.
So
Sorry. So we're gonna play again on
2 weeks.
Okay, straight 2 week schedule. Gotcha.
Yep, 2 week schedule. So that would be
the
Hold on.
6th.
Yep, the 6th. Yep, the 6th.
That
Thank
should
you.
be good.
Okay.
All right. See you guys then.
All right. So Realm offers a couple of, or Norda offers a couple of other upgrades along with this for you to all consider. And I don't want an answer tonight on those. You guys can discuss it in chat and determine what you want to do. They offer to put in a med bay for you.
I'm in favor of that.
I figured you would be.
Shock always seems to get
yeah,
beat up.
I mean, the fleshies are in favour of that. I'm not sure about the owner.
They offer to put them in a med bay for you, and they also offer to put in a permanent slicing station for you, Roxy.
I drool. I literally drool.
And
So
obviously,
yeah, they're making all the right noises.
activate the Rancor map. Where you put it on the ship is obviously up to you. You know, obviously the engine's going in there. Where would you want to put the holographic table, or do you want to make a new room on the ship? I mean,
Well-
that's happening regardless. Or you could have the the dining table taken out, the holographic table put there. It's too big to go in your cockpit.
What's this? This isn't. What's
That's
this?
that's the airlock in front of the ramp. So when you do a hard dock to another ship, because you don't have side airlocks in the ship because of the turrets.
Doesn't seem that important. We could always stick a table in there. It can still work as an airlock.
Yeah. Just anytime you're boarded there, the first thing they're going to hit your holo table.
Or we could. I mean, there's tons of space. In
Oh
the
yeah,
back,
you got plenty of space, and that's something to think about. You know, I don't need an answer now, but obviously what I would do, because I still have this map, I would update the map and change the map out for you with your changes.
Or we could take out some of the storage.
Yeah, you got plenty of
Sort
cargo
of like-
bay.
So yeah, we've got loads of like unused space everywhere.
Yeah, you've got plenty of cargo
Yeah,
bay.
And these sort of like closets and stuff could
That's
potentially.
not a
rip-
closet.
That's the locked
Where
room. You
is it?
can't go in there.
No, that's not a locked room.
Oh, I was.
That's the turret.
It's the turret. Wait,
Yeah,
Wait, which one? The one up here?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I saw a ping down at the bottom and that was in the chart. No. Yeah, that's storage space and closets. All that could be gutted. I mean, that's the closets. Well, actually, that's a hallway. And then
I mean,
all
don't
of this,
necessarily need-
I mean, that whole bunk room could be removed. You definitely don't need it.
Yeah. Or
That
we
whole-
could install the hollow table underneath, like rip out 2 bunks and shove it underneath a bunk.
What my suggestion would be, since like Roxy's rooming over here, because that's where your astromech's at, you could gut that cabin right there by the head and turn that into electronic command center with the holo table and all that in it. And then that would leave the room over here where Harsal's crew is currently camped out at for Shock to use.
I mean, I could have a fold down bed still in that room, even if we do turn it into electronic command suite.
Yeah, just fold down.
Because I love it.
Okay, we can do that. I can do that
Yeah.
for you on the map. That's not a problem. So
At least for the slicing gear or something.
Yeah.
Or, unless we're going to stick that in the cockpit. Actually, could I access it from either there or the cockpit?
you could
link
have
it up?
you could have it linked up. That wouldn't be a problem. Yeah, there's quite a bit of junk in your cockpit, you know, but
Also, if we have slicing gear, it probably would be. We could keep it in one of the bedrooms and disguise it as like a bed or something.
there you go. There you go. And then access it from the bridge or from the flight deck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
can be
like
done.
have it under a file like Tetris.
Okay, well, that can be done. So basically, we'll partially scrub that room.
I reckon though the hollow table's probably gonna go like in the corner, maybe somewhere. Like near the
Wait.
bridge.
Yeah, like now the little yellow dots. Those are a lighted walkway. That's not a wall there. That's a lighted walkway. It's basically it's a marking on the floor so that your load crew knows not to put stuff there because that's going to be a walkway for you all to use to get around the ship.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's why I don't want to put the holotape. That's why I suggest we don't put the holotable too close.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it'll be a pain to get around.
Right. Okay. That all can be done. So we will leave it there for this week. I'll go stop the recording. And I will